Minecraft Hardcore Factions, a competitive, hardcore multiplayer game mode focused around player versus player interaction. In my attempt to successfully survive 100 days in hardcore Minecraft factions, I want to set myself a few goals. By the end of these 100 days, I want to gather full god sets of every PvP class in the game mode. I want to raid at least 5 factions, and I want to kill at least 100 players on the server. In hardcore factions, also known as HCF, you can create a faction either by yourself or with friends to fight against other players, attempt to capture King of the Hills, and one of my favorites, to try and kill a faction enough times to be able to raid their base. If you die in hardcore factions, you receive a death ban. This means you're temporarily banned from the server until your death ban expires. Remember, 1 day in Minecraft is 20 minutes in real life time. This means I'll be spending over 33 hours real life time on this challenge. I will also be starting this challenge as a solo faction. This is very difficult on hardcore factions, so let's see if we can do it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below and subscribe for more hardcore factions content. Let's see if we can beat this challenge. Guys, if this video interests you at all, if you want to play hardcore factions with me on my server, you can log on with the IP play.vipermc.net. That's where we're going to be playing this entire video. The Hardcore Factions Realm Infernal resets every Friday at 6 p.m. EST, which is the time I'm logging on right now. Day 1. I spawned as soon as the server opened at the coordinates 00. This area that I'm looking around right now is known simply as Spawn. Spawn has many things in it, but most importantly, it has all the crates, the shop, and a nether portal. I immediately ran to the vote crate. This is a crate that contains rewards that you can redeem simply just by voting for the server on 2 websites. As I finished voting, I was rewarded with 4 vote crate keys. I opened all 4 and received some loot. Since I got some valuable blocks, I ran to the shop so I could sell them and get some money. I ended up getting about $1,800 and then created my faction, 100 days. I then deposited all of my money and it was time to run from spawn. So from spawn, there are 4 paths going in every direction, north, east, south, and west, known as the roads. I decided to run down South Road like almost everyone else. The main reason everyone runs down South Road is because when you leave the end, you actually spawn on South Road, which means you'll be closer to your base if you build on South Road. Some people were doing kits on their road. They did some starter kits, some archer kits, and some leftover loot actually got dropped on the ground that I actually managed to pick up. So this is gonna help me set up later down the line. Once I hit 1,000 blocks down South Road, I tried looking for an area to claim my base because this is where claims actually start. I typed the command to start claiming /F claim, but I saw a lot of people have already claimed here, so I had to keep running. I ran 500 blocks west and found a place to claim for my faction. This was gonna be my claim. Nobody could destroy or build on this claim other than those in my faction. I made a crafting table and a chest with the wood I had in my inventory from somebody's kit starter on the road. I put my stuff away immediately, crafted some iron tools, and looked to start mining for some diamonds. A few seconds after I started mining, I realized I wasn't wearing any iron armor. So I teleported back to the faction home and started crafting it. So if you're actually wearing full iron armor on HCF or hardcore factions, you get the benefits of the miner class, which is night vision, haste 2, and fire resistance. At this point, I was already finding ores everywhere. On HCF, there are increased ores, so they actually appear more frequently. I wanted diamonds, but all ores would actually help me get money if I were to sell them. And I was also gaining levels very quickly. And after only a few minutes of mining, I found my first diamonds. I quickly made the diamond pickaxe and found some more diamonds right next to them. I mined for a bit longer, grabbed some water, and decided to teleport back home. When I got back to the base, I saw it was already the next day, day 2. For today, I wanted to get a few things out of the way. I wanted to get some wood, so I quickly made a diamond axe and started mining. I also saw some cows, so I killed them and got some leather to use for later. By the time I was done clearing my claim of the trees, the day had already slipped by, but I still wanted to get some sand. I made a diamond shovel and ran to find a desert. I finally found a desert and started mining sand. I'll need the sand to make glass later for both my base design and also glass bottles to brew with. I got about an inventory of sand and decided to go back to base. But while I was getting sand, everyone on the server was actually given a Christmas key, which is one of the best crate keys on the server, which I'll open later. I decided I should probably visit the end before the start of the world timer ran out. I didn't explain this earlier, but SOTW actually stands for start of the world. It's basically the day and the time that the map opens. And this 2-hour SOTW timer that you can see on the right side of my screen starts when the server opens. During this time, PvP is disabled. You can't take any damage, which means it's the perfect time to visit some high populated locations that are typically risky during the real gameplay, like the end or the nether. As I jumped through the portal, here we were, the end. The place to find enderman spawners, creeper spawners, and a king of the hill. Ender pearls are completely necessary to live on HCF, and gunpowder from creepers is needed to make pots, which makes this a contested zone when PvP is enabled. There's always a creeper island in the end, so I went there and tried getting some gunpowder, but there was just too many people since it was start of the world timer, so I went back to trying to get some pearls. At this point, it seemed like I was farming forever, and I only managed to get 9 pearls before I gave up and ran towards the end exit. I saw the sunlight as soon as I ran through the end exit portal. I spawned 300 down road. As I mentioned earlier, this is why South Road is so popular. I thought it was a good time to head to spawn and open my Christmas key since I was so close, and it was also a good time to go to the nether through spawn. I opened my key, got a stack of gold blocks, a protection 2 chest plate, 3 guardian angels, which is a partner item. Partner items are basically special ability items on the server that people can use in PvP. I sold most of the gold blocks, bought some nether wart, glistering melons, blaze rods, sugarcane, melon seeds, and then put the rest of my money away. These are all materials that's going to be needed for brewing and for my base. It was time to visit the nether. The nether is another high PvP area, just like the end. It has a few things in it though. While running to one of those areas, everyone on the server received a partner package. This event is called a partner package all. These packages obviously contain the special ability item that I mentioned earlier, as well as a normal reward. I opened mine and I got a protection 1 helmet and an anti-trap beacon. One of the most populated areas in nether is Glowstone Mountain. This build spawns glowstone inside of it every so often and also holds creeper and magma cube spawners. Knowing that the glowstone was just about to reset, I ran up to the middle zone to get it. When it did, I mined as much as I could. By the time it was all mined up, I ended up getting about 2.5 stacks of glowstone dust, which was pretty good for now. I decided to F home, set up some furnaces for my sand, and started flattening my claim. I was still flattening my claim, but SOTW timer was almost over. Time passed by pretty quickly, and before I knew it, there was only 50 seconds left of start of the world timer. I needed to finish this base as quickly as possible, otherwise I could be killed as soon as the timer was over. That was a close one. He almost pearled into my base. If he landed that pearl, I would have been easily dead. There was no way I was surviving that. And then finally, the top base was basically done. After that little scare, I decided to wait until the next day to continue progress so that guy wouldn't be camping my base. Day 6. I wanted to clean up the top base a little bit since it was kind of messed up from when I was blocking it in from that guy, and I wanted to flatten my claim a little more. Next, I mined a 3x3 drop down in the middle of my base. This will be a drop down between the top base and my main base, which will include all my farms, my chests, and my auto brewers. I spent all of day 7 mining out the bottom of my base. This took a while because I don't actually have a fast pickaxe to mine with, so I can only mine a 2 high area from each corner. And I finished up the drop down with fence gates as well. Day 8. I did some more work with the bottom of my base. I started preparing for my full level 30 enchanter. I started making area for all my farms, and I started placing some sugarcane, melons, and potatoes. Just like a full iron set does, a full gold set gives you the benefits of a class called Bard. Bard also has the ability to give effects like speed 3, strength 2, resistance 3, and more for a few seconds to their teammates by right-clicking a certain item. I'm not using Bard for that necessarily, but just for the permanent speed 2, since it's helpful during the beginning of the map. I got in Bard so that I could safely run out and get some wood for the rest of the day. Days 9 through 15. On day 9, I was still mining wood when I came across another player in an archer class, Swirls. He seemed to be AFK, and I approached slowly, and I was starting to get greedy to try and kill him. I knew that I could quickly kill an archer. Luckily, I moved slowly, and he returned from being AFK when I wasn't too close. After he came back, I ran away as fast as I could and returned to getting wood. By day 11, after buying some sugarcane from spawn and opening some more vote keys, I was able to complete my full level 30 enchanter. I enchanted my first pickaxe and got an efficiency 4 on breaking 3, and now all I needed was another efficiency 4 to make an efficiency 5, which would help me instant break blocks. After 2 full days of mining, I enchanted another pickaxe and combined it to make an efficiency 5. This took a lot of levels and a lot of time, but it was definitely worth it. I put on my miner set and I was now able to instantly break blocks. It was time to mine out my entire base. By day 15, I had finished mining out the entire base. It was time to start placing down some chests to make an area for all my items. By day 16, my entire base was organized. I still need to finish a few more things, but for the most part, it was nearly complete. I wanted to start making some real progress outside of my base. So I wanted to get fully geared up and be able to PvP. So I started out by making some brewing stands, and I also started brewing the only materials I had to make some splash instant health 2 potions and some drinkable speed 2 potions. Day 17. I wanted to go nether. So I finished brewing all my pots, both health pots, speed 2s, and then I lit the portal and realized it'd be a good idea to brew some fire resistance. I also noticed that I almost had 30 levels, so I quickly got there by mining ores around my base and tried enchanting for a looting 3 sword to farm with. Obviously though, we weren't as lucky as we hoped. I went through the portal and luckily nobody was there. I arrived at Glowstone Mountain. I I really needed to farm gunpowder, but I knew this was most likely going to end bad. Running over to these spawners, I saw an enemy. He was farming gunpowder. Being in the same position I was in, I tried to truce up with him, which it looked like he was trucing back. And then all of a sudden, his teammate came down to where I was. I thought he was also trucing, but I was wrong. My first death. Not only was I not happy to lose everything I had, but I was almost convinced that he was using some sort of X-ray cheat to find me when I mined down. And after a few minutes, I realized I was right. I messaged him on my staff account and asked if he was cheating. He admitted to using a radar cheat, so he could see me when I was hiding. He was being nice, so I offered him a way shorter ban of 3 days if he promised to uninstall the cheat, which he agreed to. After all that was solved, he was banned for 3 days, I was revived by staff, and that meant that I got all of my items back that I died with, along with my DTR. Since this hasn't been explained yet, DTR stands for deaths until raidable. Each faction has a max number of deaths until raidable based on their faction size. For a solo faction like mine, my DTR is a max of 1.01. With every death, a faction will lose 1 DTR and will be put on DTR freeze. DTR freeze is a 45-minute period after dying where DTR cannot be regenerated. So if I die once, my DTR will go from 1.01, which is also known as 2 DTR, to 0.01 DTR, also known as 1 DTR, since it basically rounds up to the next whole number. And I'd be placed on 45 minutes DTR freeze. So if I died at any point during this DTR freeze timer where I'm still on 1 DTR, then my DTR would be 0 or negative, which means my faction would be considered raidable. When a faction is raidable, anyone on the server can break blocks in their claim and loot their chests. However, if I wait the 45 minutes of DTR freeze, then my DTR will start to regenerate back to full and I'll be safe from going raidable. Long story short, on day 18, I tried going nether again. I was farming at Glowstone Mountain peacefully when I was found by a huge faction that had a rogue, a mage, and some diamonds. While trying to escape, I actually got glitched in a block and died. However unlucky this was, it also meant that I was able to get revived by staff and again my stuff given back. So I'm pretty sure I would have escaped if I didn't get glitched in the block. I was basically out, I was going to be under the lava and I had wood to block myself in. But it's okay. Day 19. We're down bad at this point. I've tried going nether multiple times and have died every single time. Luckily, I got revived both times, but I still wasted pots and pearls, which I didn't really have much of. I needed to go back to spawn and sell the valuable blocks I had, so I got to spawn safely and immediately went to the shop. I sold what I could for about $12,000, which was really good. I bought some carrots, nether warts, slime balls, and feathers. From spawn, I had an opportunity to go nether and get what I needed. I went through the portal, ran from nether spawn, and looked for quartz and soul sand. I needed quartz to make redstone comparators, which are needed to build autobrewers, and I needed soul sand for my nether wart farm. I ended up finding both pretty quickly and teleported back to base. Day 20 and day 21 were focused around finalizing the base. I started by building the netherwort farm inside of our base, and then began making the structure of the autobrewers. Autobrewers are a normality for factions in HCF. They do what the name says. They automatically brew potions. By the end of day 20, the structure of the autobrewers were complete. All I needed to do now was make the redstone clock that activates them. Throughout day 21, I completed the clock of the autobrewers, expanded the storage, and started brewing. Now that the autobrewers were finally done, it was time to start taking advantage of them. I spent day 22 getting more netherwort, both buying it from spawn and farming it. I set up the brewers to make splashable, instant health 2 potions and invisibility potions. As that was going, I realized I really needed a looting 3 so I could farm gunpowder and pearls faster, so I headed to the nether to farm some XP by mining quartz. Attempt after attempt, I failed to enchant a looting 3 through level 30 enchants. After nearly 2 days of trying from day 22 and day 23, I finally enchanted a looting 3. Now that I had this, it was time to go back to Glowstone Mountain. I potted invisibility and went through the portal. Luckily, nobody was there. I finally arrived at the creeper spawners. It looked clear to me. Minutes later, I was interrupted by an invis mage and diamond. Having no pearls to kite this, I thought I was completely dead. With 2 potions left, I saw another faction. It must have scared the other faction from killing me because they immediately turned off of me. I won't lie, at this point, my heart was racing. I thought I was going to die in Nether again, and that would have been a huge setback. But to top it all off, I was rewarded with a reset glowstone mountain. I mined as much glowstone as I was comfortable with and then decided to F home. I was getting pretty scared of getting jumped with only 1 potion left. Day 25. I was pretty satisfied with how much glowstone I had in my base, and I was also fine with having about a stack of gunpowder, but I definitely needed pearls. I could not have another situation where I had no pearls. So, I grabbed my best gear and a full inventory of potions and started to run to the end portal. End portals are located in Overworld at the coordinates 1000, 1000 in every single quadrant. It was time to jump through the portal, so I took off my armor and went full invis. I knew that if there was a faction there and I was full invis, that was probably my best chance of survival. I got lucky, nobody was sitting at the entrance when I went through, but there were people here. I did my best to maneuver to a safe spot that I could farm at. While farming, I even saw another faction fight nearby. Luckily, they did not see me. I wasn't even full invis at this point, so that pretty much scared me and I decided it's time to F home with what I had, which was about 9 stacks of pearls. Now that I have almost everything needed to PvP potion-wise and item-wise, I still needed to get better gear. I currently had Protection 1 armor with like 1 Protection 2 piece, but I definitely needed a full Protection 2 armor set with custom enchants. Each reset on HCF has a certain map kit, which is the maximum enchants that you can get through vanilla enchanting and combining armor. On this map and on most maps on Viper, it's usually Protection 1, Sharpness 1. This means that I already had the best armor I could through vanilla means. The only way you can get above map kit armor, which is Protection 2 and Sharpness 2, is through kits, keys, or the black market. But you can also get them from killing other players who got them from their own kits. So I decided to try and trap players in my base to get the Protection 2 armor, which also tends to have the custom enchants with permanent speed 2 and fire resistance. By the end of day 26, I had finally finished my trap base. Basically, it's just a too high base, which is used to easily block people up that run in. And if all else fails, I have a safe drop down that I can mine in the corner to be able to fall into a bigger trap where they will definitely not be able to kill me. Now that I had the trap base set up, I needed a way to lure people over to my base. And honestly, there was only one good way of doing this. I needed to add a risk for myself and a reward for other people. And the way of doing that is by going 1 DTR. So I put my armor away, I jumped down my drop down, landed on a block, and I was dead. We were now 0.01 DTR or 1 DTR. So now, when I'm undeath banned, there should be some people with good gear that want to try and run into my base and make me raidable. Since I died though, I was deathbanned for an hour, but there are ways to combat this. Basically, you can fight in the deathband arena to shorten your deathband time. Each kill that I got in this arena was 5 minutes off my deathband timer, but by the time I shaved off about 25 minutes of time, somebody actually messaged me before I even advertised that I was letting in for me to let them into the base. They were probably doing the command/F list and could see that I was low DTR, so I replied and asked them to revive me, which is basically a donator perk of being able to use lives to revive themselves or friends when they are deathbanned. So he revived me and I got ready to trap him. About a minute later, I got my gear, ran into my too high base, and let him in. And just like that, I had him stuck in a 1x1. I quickly took steps to make sure he couldn't pearl out any way possible, slabbed him, and started critting him out. My first kill. This was the start of my snowball to the top. He dropped a full god set, a master set of Protection 2, Sharpness 2, full of custom enchants. The main thing that custom enchants do on HCF is give permanent speed and fire resistance. There isn't any like crazy PvP custom enchant, but guys, I was very happy with this. We were ready to keep on going. By day 28, I was still 1 DTR. So there was still a risk of letting people in, and another faction decided to stop by, but this time it was a diamond and a bard. So as I explained bard earlier, they can give their teammates effects like strength 2, speed 3, resistance 3, so they're extremely hard to kill when they're being barded for. But anyways, I let them in and I was gonna try and trap them. At this point, I had him slabbed in a 1x1, but he was against the fence gate, so his loot could have gone to his teammate if he died. So what I did is I got close enough to let him teleport bow to me so that I could quickly mine down to my trap where it was an easier kill and I would have 100% secured the loot. But I quickly noticed I made a mistake in my trap and he was able to pearl in. And before I knew it, he found the hole into my main base. This was going to be a much harder fight when he was not trapped. And I knew that his Bard was giving him effects outside of the base earlier, so he would probably mine down the side of my claim to continue giving him effects so he can get an easy win in this 1v1. Knowing this, I quickly ran up, jumped down my trap, and mined into the wall to look for the Bard. I even heard him mining away. And there he was. By the time I killed him, his friend inside my base was gone. Looking over the loot, I was still extremely happy to get a God Bard set, which contributes towards my goal of getting a God set of every PvP class in the game, and to top it off, I got a full Protection 2 Master set. My DTR started to regenerate, and I decided I wanted to clean up my claim a bit more. After fixing it up for a bit, I noticed some players camping my trap base. It looked like they wanted to run in. I let one in, and I got to work. A lot easier than last time, I had him blocked up in 1x1 again, and this time in my bottom trap. We'd secured another rich kill. I killed him and immediately looked for the Bard in the wall again. Sadly, he managed to escape me. But I was still happy with the loot we got from that kill. Day 30. After all those traps, I spent most of the day brewing health pots. With this newly acquired Protection 2 gear, looting 4, and potions, I was ready to head back to the Nether to get enough gunpowder to brew more potions for the rest of the map. I went through the portal and heard someone building. A full invis. Didn't really get much off that kill, but regardless, it was time to go to Glowstone Mountain. I arrived at Glowstone Mountain again, and it appeared to be clear. Day 31. I'd spoke too soon, but I was ready to finally be aggressive in a fight. When he started to run, I knew I had to do something to secure the kill. I took out one of my partner items, the Effect Disabler, and when I hit him 3 times with it, it took his effects away temporarily, meaning he had no speed and no fire resistance. He quickly started to panic. Hurling into lava to escape would have been a good idea if I didn't have a bow. Another rich kill. I looted a god set with custom enchants, fireworks, and I had 3 stacks of gunpowder already. This was a good nether trip. After I banked all the loot, I was ready to go back and continue farming. The portal seemed to be clear. Uh-oh. I had an archer and a diamond chasing me. Archers get speed 3 and deal insane damage with bows. They can also tag enemies to have their teammates deal more damage to them, but they are easily killable. I had the perfect plan. I was having trouble killing them, but I had a better idea. I just needed to keep baiting them and trying to quick drop the archer. One down, and now for the diamond. Honestly guys, that 2v1 win was one of the greatest moments of this video so far. The Effect Disabler helped me out again. He had no speed, no fire resistance, and a nether that is just terrible. So we managed to get some other partner items off his body too, like a combo ability and a focus mode, along with another god set. I was still not done going nether. I needed more gunpowder so I wouldn't have to farm for the rest of the map. I got to the creeper spawners and saw some name tags, but I was honestly ready for PvP. I saw some glowstone particles falling from the roof, so I knew somebody was actually mining the glowstone that reset at the mountain. That was brutal. I somehow hit him into an almost inescapable area and he was dead in a matter of seconds. I saw more name tags, but then I realized that these were the original name tags I saw before, so I investigated. I F-fooded them and found out they both had no kills, so more likely than not, they probably had lower gear and I could win this fight. One guy down, this next kill shouldn't be too hard. Last guy down, but it wasn't really the best loot. I went back to check if the loot was there from the first kill, but it wasn't, and then I got jumped. And just to my luck, there was an archer too. That death was pretty depressing. I knew I still had loot back at the base, but I had 3 kills worth of loot in my inventory, but I knew it would have been fine. Now, I decided to wait out my deathban and DTR freeze since I wouldn't want to PvP in Nether on 1 DTR anyways. I spent days 33, 34, and some of 35 in the Deathban Arena. I was back. I finally got released from Deathban Arena and I had full DTR. While I was at spawn though, I really quickly wanted to go through the Nether portal to check the black market at Nether spawn. I had 8 crystals that I could spend. Crystals are gained in various ways, but mainly by killing. Sadly, everything in the black market was too expensive for me, but it was good to see what I could get. I spent all of day 36 getting gunpowder from Glowstone Mountain. I was finally able to farm with no interruptions. I was able to farm 6 stacks of gunpowder and teleport back to base safely. This was more than enough for me to brew a lot of pots. And since I had a lot of brewing materials already, I decided to start on the potion storage. I finished the potion storage and decided to AFK my farms until the next day. Day 38. I was geared up expecting PvP. I had an abundance of partner items in my inventory along with the usual god set. After looking for some PvP, I noticed that a huge power faction went raidable. I went to the base to try to steal some loot while full invis. I also used a special ink sac partner item that made me fully invisible even if I was wearing armor until hit or for a total of 3 minutes. Okay, at this point, I was convinced Juggle was cheating. He was able to mine to me while I was fully invis, but I just needed to focus on escaping. I managed to escape with 2 pots. That was way too close. I ended up reporting Juggle to staff and he was later banned for cheating. I spent all of days 39 and day 40 gathering materials to brew a mass amount of potions. After I finished brewing everything I had about 8 double chests of instant health pots. At this point, I was pretty set up in terms of armor, potions, and loot, so I wanted to start working on my goal of getting a god set of each PvP class, and that's exactly what I tried doing. I spent days 41 through 60 trying to get a god set of every PvP class: Rogue, Bard, Archer, and Mage. Looking for a class to kill, I went Nether. That's when I was met with something bad. Well, I was right. I found an archer in Nether, but I failed to kill him. Time to wait out the deathban and DTR freeze again. Round 2. Time to check Nether again. When I heard that bow shot, I knew this was my chance. Thank God I killed him before he got away. That lucky diamond gave me strength 2 and speed 3 at the last second. I was able to quick drop him. I secured the full god archer set plus a ton of partner items, which is going to really help. I banked that set and it felt great. I had 2 of the 4 PvP class god sets complete. I decided to try to find these sets through other means by looting raidable factions. I sorted F list by the lowest DTR and ran to a raidable base. When I got to this base, I jumped down and I managed to hit someone, but I was very confused how. But then I found him. It was just a full invis trying to loot as well. So from this base, I didn't find any sets, but I got a lot of chests, hoppers, glass, and even a few partner items. Overall, it's a pretty good raid just in case I need some items down the line. Another raidable faction, but this one was much riskier. I knew this faction was going to be a lot richer, and I saw a lot of people down there, but I wasn't afraid in getting in on the action. Well, that did not end well at all. I had to risk it all and come back to the raidable faction. I needed to make progress on this goal through this base, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to kill a mage or a rogue in a team fight setting. So when I reached this cave area, I was on high alert. It turns out I was right, but I was panicking. I quickly started looting. I know the guy inside the base heard the thunderbolt from his death, and there's no way I could fight this. This guy must have managed to loot some chests from the raid as well, and was also hiding, but he had exactly what I was looking for and more. I only took what I wanted, and then I looked inside the base. I saw all the chests got broken and wanted to check out the loot, but sadly, it despawned as I was looking through it. I managed to get exactly what I needed, a mage and a rogue god set off of that kill. I F-homed and I put these sets into my chest. I'd completed the first challenge on the list. I acquired god sets of every PvP class in HCF: Bard, Archer, Mage, Rogue, and Diamond. Day 61. Now that I completed my first goal, I needed to work towards the others. The only way that I was going to get anywhere near 100 kills or making 5 factions raidable was by expanding my faction and base raiding, which is my favorite thing to do on hardcore factions. I decided to invite my friend Hatefu. He's also another YouTuber, so go subscribe to him down below in the description. Now that I had a second member in my faction, our max CTR was now 2.01 or 3. Hate could also be any of the PvP classes to help me out, but most importantly, he could bard for me, which would really help me out in bases. We came across a trapper that was letting in his base while he was 1 DTR, similar to what I did earlier, but it was time for me to run in. That was close. If he had escaped, I'd be trapped and dead. There was no way out of that. Since that kill made him negative DTR, that meant he was raidable and his chest could be looted. Our first raidable faction. Hate and I quickly looked for the best loot. For our first raid, we did extremely well, and I was super happy with what we looted. After we had that successful base raid, we wanted to try going nether together, but this time with Hate as Archer. We went through the portal, and it seemed clear, for now. All of a sudden, we came across 2 big factions fighting. Naturally, we decided to get involved. When we were just starting to get in the fight, we realized this was pretty stupid and we decided to run. Day 63. We still wanted to continue the Archer and Diamond combo, but this time in Overworld. We saw someone outside and decided to see how much damage we could do. And just like that, he was dead. We managed to loot a god set off of his body. After running around for a while longer, we found another Archer. And then we saw his friend, a mage. We thought this could be 2 easy kills, so we continued chasing. At this point, I realized I probably shouldn't have chased him down his fall trap. I was trying to escape full invis when he came down the trap. At this point, I knew I had to go all the way. Sadly, he managed to escape me. That was extremely close. All of a sudden, his friend came down too. I took out my teleport bow and tried my best to kill them. Well, we were trapped and we were suffocating, so we were 100% dead. We spent days 64 through 66 at the Deathband Arena. We had to wait for our Deathband to expire and for our DTR to regenerate so we can continue PvPing. I was finally released from the Deathband Arena. This time, instead of PvPing outside with an archer, I wanted to run into a base with an archer. He managed to escape back in his base for now. And then he was back, along with his faction. Wow, he quick dropped after trying to trap us. While looting his armor, I noticed another player jumping into the trap and attempting to switch positions with me. Knowing this, we decided to jump down too. He escaped us, but we knew he was still going to die in there. And there he goes. It was our turn now. Wow, he was dead and they were now 1 DTR. The last enemy ended up logging off, but we were still extremely happy with how that raid turned out. Still wanting to PvP with an archer by my side, we decided to chase this guy. Well, that did not go to plan. I spent all of day 69 fighting in the Deathband Arena to shorten my Deathband, and soon enough I was released. Day 70. We were switching it up. This time, I was an archer and Hate was in Bard. An interesting combo that I honestly haven't seen too much of in HCF, but we wanted to try it anyways. We went through the portal, and luckily, it was clear. Uh-oh, this was not good. After roaming Nether for a few minutes, I was alone and getting chased by 2 rogues. Rogue is a PvP class of chainmail armor. They have permanent speed 3, just like archers, but they also have the ability to give themselves speed 5 for about 10 seconds every 2 minutes, while archers can only give themselves speed 4. If a rogue hits your back with a gold sword, it'll take the gold sword away, but it'll instantly deal 3 hearts of damage. This is called a backstab. Long story short, rogues are basically made to kill archers. Luckily, I was able to kite them around until I met back up with Hate. Now it was time to fight. We chased him for a while all the way to this ledge. Then I noticed his teammate was back, this time in diamond. And the final rogue was dead. Now it was time to kill his teammate again. That was pretty crazy. I never expected a Bard and Archer combo to work, but it did. We managed to get a few god sets off their bodies, including both a rogue and diamond set. We went to the top of our base to notice a huge faction camping us. It was the faction we killed earlier. Hate and I were really wanting to kill their rogue, so we tried our best. Well, that's not good. I knew I was probably going to die down here. I managed to actually get revived by asking in chat, so I didn't have to wait out the Deathband, but we were still only 2 DTR. The same faction was still outside. We managed to form somewhat of a rivalry with this faction as we both constantly tried killing each other. One of these days, we needed to make them raidable. Again, Hate and I really wanted to kill this rogue, so we tried. Well, we did it, but I was trapped again, and there's no way I'd be able to kill any of them like this. I told Hate to go back to base so we didn't risk going raidable, and soon enough, I was dead. While in the Deathband Arena, I asked in chat if someone could revive me. Again, someone did just that, and I was back. After just being released from the Deathband Arena, we were still 1 DTR. There wasn't much I could do here, so I decided to trap on 1 DTR again. I noticed this guy outside. Finally, he decided to run in. After only about 10 seconds, I managed to block him up in the corner. I slabbed him and crit him out. I finally killed him, but not only did I get his first god set, but he used a kit mage while he was dying. Once I banked the loot from the kill, I realized I basically had no pots, so I spent the rest of the day brewing. Day 74. After regenerating our DTR and brewing for a bit, we decided to hop in a Bard and Archer combo yet again, but this time we wanted to go to the King of the Hill in the end. We got to the portal and jumped through. We didn't see anybody at first, so I decided to farm some Endermen, but then I saw all the name tags. Well, that did not go to plan at all. Hate actually managed to kill him right after I died, so he got his loot and my loot, so I'd say it was worth it. Hate and I were an Archer and Bard yet again, but this time just fighting around outside the base. I got him in the trap, but sadly he did not die from that fall. And he quick dropped. I went to go check the fall trap as quick as I could to see if we could get another kill, but it looked like he was gone already. Shortly after, Hate was fighting a few people outside the base, and then they ran in. Time to trap them. Another kill and more loot. Overall, Bard and Archer seemed like a pretty good combo, not only because we could bait greedy diamonds, but because we could deal a lot of damage. Hate told me that there are a few people outside, so I used an invisibility partner item. I was now invisible even with armor on. We were going to try and trap them. I managed to trap them while I was invisible. Hate was going to continue distracting them in Bard while I blocked them up. Well, that was not good. Hate quick dropped and we were now 1 DTR. This was a high risk trap moment. I managed to escape that area, but I was definitely not done trying to trap them. At this point, I let one out of the base and left one inside. I knew this would be an easier trap this way. Hate was now back as well, and we were both going to try and trap the guy at the top of our base. After a few minutes, we killed one, and soon enough, we killed the second. We spent days 77 and 78 regenerating our DTR back to full. Day 79, I decided to base raid by myself. Well, I was trapped. That was it. He was asking me to drop my pots and my set, but I was going to take any chance to kill him if I could. That was pretty embarrassing. But it turns out he was actually alting. So alting is a rule in HCF about using 2 accounts at the same time, and because of this, I was able to get revived. This guy was advertising in chat that he was letting in on 1DTR, but he had 2 faction members online. I managed to combo him into somebody else's fall trap. If I could kill him down there quick enough before his friend jumps down, he'll be raidable. Wow, that was close. I killed him and his faction member, basically at the same time. At this point, I was pretty hyped. I honestly just wanted to escape as quick as possible so I could go loot the other base, which was now my second raidable faction of the map. After looting for a minute or so, I had a full inventory of god sets, god bows, and some partner items. I quickly escaped. I came back again to loot as much as possible, and it looks like somebody else tried looting too. Day 81. This time, Hate was in the mage kit. Mages are known on HCF for being able to debuff enemies with a choice of effects: slowness, weakness, nausea, or poison. So since Hate was in mage, I decided to go in diamond. Well, I almost escaped. Even though we both died in that base raid, I was still happy. We managed to kill 2 in an outnumbered fight. I managed to get revived in the Deathband arena, but decided to spend days 82 and 83 1DTR trapping, instead of just waiting for my DTR to regenerate. 2 players ran in, time to trap them. That was close, but knowing his teammate was spamming potions through the wall, I knew I could kill him easily. I spent all of day 84 organizing the base and brewing potions. Hate and I decided to get some kills as a rogue and an archer in Overworld. I'm in rogue, which means I can backstab someone with a gold sword and instantly deal 3 hits of damage. So this is a really good class for quick dropping. Well, we managed to do pretty well in Rogue. Hate died, but I was able to escape from that faction, while 2 of them accidentally killed themselves trying to kill me. Hate and I decided to try a Mage and Bard combo. Again, Mage is able to debuff enemies the same way Bard can give effects to their teammates, with effects like slowness, poison, nausea, weakness, and more. Hate and I noticed that faction we had a rivalry with outside again. We really wanted to kill their rogue. Now that he was dead, we had to escape. We were 2 DTR, so this was a little risky. I was so close to killing him, but he managed to kill me with no potions left. It was very weird though. When he pearled down to kill me, it seemed like he knew exactly where I was, with some type of cheat. It turns out that rival faction had 3 alt accounts in their faction. This meant that their DTR was 2 numbers too high, meaning they would be raidable right now. Because of this, staff investigated, banned the alts, set their faction raidable, and revived us. I ran right into their base, ready to loot and kill. They had so many sets, almost a double chest of each piece. We looted as quickly as possible. Hate called me over. He found the partner items chest, and wow, there was so much loot. On my way to loot the base again, I saw a lot of people flooding in. I knew there was about to be a big fight. I managed to escape with 2 hearts and no pots. I ran away as quick as I could so I could F home and come back. Knowing that faction still had 5 online and was 3 DTR, I ran back to the base with a full pot loadout. Sadly, after chasing him for a few minutes, he got away with the rest of his faction into his base. They weren't going raidable today, but we were still happy with winning a 5 versus 2, and we defended a lot of loot so we could keep looting. Overall, that was an amazing raid for us. Looking at all the loot we got, we had tons of armor, swords, and partner items now. Day 89. Today, Hate and I were both in the archer class, and we visited the Nether King of the Hill. I spent the rest of the day organizing the base and brewing more potions. Hate and I stumbled across a 2-man faction on 1 DTR. And just like that, they were raidable. This was our 3rd raidable faction of the map. We looted the base and got a decent amount of stuff. We spent days 92 and 93 regenerating our DTR. On day 94, I decided to try my luck base raiding by myself. I found my way over to a faction that was advertising that they were letting in on 1 DTR. And he was raidable, my 4th raidable faction. I knew there was somebody outside that could steal the raid too, so I wanted to loot as quickly as possible, but I also wanted to kill him too. At this point, I was honestly so mad. I knew he was out of pots, yet I panicked and died. I asked for a revive in chat and someone gave me one. For the rest of the day, I was going to make it my goal to get revenge on him and his faction. After stalking him and his faction for a while, I found an opportunity to strike. Him and his friend ran into a base, leaving another friend completely alone. One was down, time to see if I could kill the others. It looked like the guy who killed me managed to get trapped in a too high base, but I was actually able to get some of the loot when he died. And then somebody used a teleport snowball to get his friend out of the base, so I instantly started chasing. I was confused. I didn't know where he went, but then I saw the chat. He had died too. Mission success. Day 95. Now that I had successfully gotten revenge, I decided to try and run into the trapper's base that I was just at. That was so close. He almost escaped, but luckily the combo and focus mode abilities allowed me to drain him so many pots early on. My 5th raidable faction. I had now completed my 2nd goal on the list. After getting that kill, I looted the base as quickly as possible, and then I saw it. I picked up a ninja ability. This is one of the best items for base raiding in HCF, and one of the rarest too. I was so happy, but first I had to survive. Once I got that kill, I knew I had to escape with this item. A trapper on 1 DTR in a 3 high base. This should be easy, especially with the ninja ability. The ninja ability is one of the best ability items in the game, and it allows you to teleport into the body of your last attacker, meaning you're practically untrappable if you use this right. After making them raidable, we looked for loot but didn't find too much. Still a fun raid though, and that was our 6th raid of the map. When I arrived to the next base, they had already gone raidable. I decided to try and just get as many kills as possible. After that last kill, we decided to head home. That was my 64th kill, and Hate had 13, which meant we had a total of 77 kills, close to our goal of 100. We also got another ninja ability off one of those kills. We decided to raid one more base before preparing for EOTW. This base seemed tough, but I decided to run it anyways. After making them raidable and escaping from those raid stealers, I returned to base. I went through Nether to use the black market, but then this happened. Luckily, I managed to escape from that faction. I then ran to the Nether spawn to access the black market. The black market is a shop where you can spend your crystals, a currency faction gained throughout the map mainly from kills. I decided to buy a special ability item, Scramblers, from the limited shop. It was time to wait until EOTW. I got my inventory completely set up, 2 stacks of pearls, healing, defensive, and offensive partner items, and as many potions as possible. I was ready to go. Day 100. It was now end of the world. Each map on HCF has to end before it can restart on Friday, and this is how. An EOTW King of the Hill gets enabled, located at spawn, all factions are set raidable, and death bans are permanent. At this point, Hay and I had a combined total of 85 kills. We were 15 kills away from completing the final goal of the 100 days challenge. To sum up my EOTW experience, enjoy this compilation of our success and defeat. Yep, that's how I died. That's how our 100 days series comes to an end. I fell down a 1x1 hole and died. It was okay though, we managed to get over 100 kills and I was happy. We completed every goal of the 100 days challenge on hardcore factions. If you guys enjoyed this video at all, please leave a like down below and also subscribe if you enjoyed any of this hardcore factions content. I usually post HCF every single day, but obviously took a break for the development of this video, so you can expect to find the best content here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.